Hey you guys, it's Teresa and welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be my review for Clap When You Land by Elizabeth Acevedo. It's like I have a lot to say about the book, but I feel like I also don't have a lot to say. I'm also not wearing lipstick. 1 second. Better. I feel like I have a lot to say, but also it's been a minute since I've read the book, so I don't know exactly what that a lot of things I'd say would be. So I'm just going to go ahead and go off my notes and we'll go from there. But before I get into the meat of the actual video, I wanted to thank you guys for being very patient with me these past 2 weeks. If you guys don't follow me on Twitter, which I suggest you do, I decided to take a 2-week hiatus. A lot of things have been happening and I just have not been feeling very creative these past few weeks. July hit especially hard. There have been, at least like in terms of like whether it's my office or like my mom's office, because I still live at home, there have like we've had coworkers contract like symptoms of coronavirus or have to get tested because they're showing signs, and it's been a lot of like going back into quarantine, then coming back out, and then going back in. I mean, like right now it's like the 4th time this has happened. I'm drained emotionally, and I did film a video. I did film this video earlier, back when I filmed my Nope Trope book tag, and then like I filmed it and I was looking back at the footage and you could just tell that I was just not very into it. So I took a break, decided to like figure out my life again. And like try to like get my creative juices flowing by like not doing anything creative. Like even my bullet journal for the last few weeks of July, or like the entire of July, were pretty like basic and simple, just so I could clear my brain out a little bit. And I feel a lot better. I feel more energized, ready to do videos. I have missed you guys, something terrible. I had a lot of friends who were still uploading videos while I was taking my break, and I was just like, I miss it. So now I'm back and I feel a lot better. So again, just thank you guys for being patient these past 2 weeks. I really appreciate it, and now I feel so much better and I am ready, so ready to get back into making videos. So also, I'll try to have this book review as spoiler free as possible. You guys know the rules with my reviews are typically spoiler free unless I say otherwise. But this book, basically, it follows these two girls, Yahaira and Camino Rios, who are from two completely different ends of the world. Yahaira is in New York, Camino is in the Dominican Republic, and their worlds start to collide when their father dies in a plane crash. And we get to see this kind of dichotomy of how girls are raised in different areas of the world, quite literally. And this book is written in verse. Again, I think the only other Elizabeth Acevedo book that is not written in verse is with Fire on High over there. So I'm going to pull out my bullet journal for the trigger warnings. This isn't a comprehensive list. I'm sure there are more. These were the ones that I saw, and if I remember or find any more as I like do my research on the book and the other reviews on Goodreads or something, I will add them in the description below. And you guys are also more than welcome to add comments about trigger warnings that I may have missed, and I will be adding them to the description or pinning the comment. So whichever one. But the trigger warnings that I noticed were plane crash, death and loss of a parent, infidelity, implied sex trafficking, stalking, sexual harassment, physical assault, and sexual assault, I believe, as well. Moving right along, my first thoughts on this book was that I really had no idea this book was coming out. I haven't been keeping track or like a really close track of all the 2020 releases. I just feel like when I force myself to keep track, I get really overwhelmed and feel like I have to buy all the books, and then I don't buy the books and then I feel bad. So I've just kept really loosely like track of what authors have been posting. Elizabeth Acevedo posted about this, I think a month or two, I started seeing promo about it a month or two before the actual release. And then it was released and I didn't even know when that was released, TBH. I just started seeing people talk about it and I was like, but I was really excited. I haven't had a chance to read With Fire on High just quite yet, because I think I heard mixed reviews on it. Like some people liked it, some people didn't. And I was like, I'm just gonna wait for the hype to die down before I buy it. But then for my birthday, Andrea and Lisa purchased The Poet X, With Fire on High, and Clap When You Land for me. So I now have Elizabeth Acevedo's entire set, which is amazing. So thank you, girls. But I was really excited to read this book. I was interested in see how she was going to do it, because I knew it was written in verse. And again, I'm not a huge poetry person, but I will make exceptions for Elizabeth Acevedo because she is like the fave. And like I said, I didn't know a ton about it. I didn't realize that the girls were in two separate points of the world. I thought they were like, they weren't related somehow, but like the tragedy of like their fathers dying in the said plane crash bring them together as like a friend. So I will start off with the things I did not like, because there's only like really one point. The one thing that kind of bugged me throughout the entire book was that it took way too long for the girls to find out that they were actually related. Like, we already knew that the father, or like there's implication that the father had already cheated on Yahaira's mom when she was young. Yahaira had found the marriage certificate and everything, so we knew that they were like, they shared a father really early on in the book, and it just kind of dragged it out. And I feel like, while I did kind of enjoy like the building and like the finding out from both sides of the girls, I feel like by dragging it out, we lost page time where the girls could have been bonding as sisters and trying to get over not only this trauma of their father dying horrifically and never really being able to make amends or say bye, but also for them to get over the potential trauma of finding out that their father was not the person that they thought he was, and turning to each other, which I think I would have enjoyed a lot. Moving on to the things I did like, one of them was the writing style. I feel like by writing it in verse, we got to see, like, it was a very lyrical writing style, as Elizabeth Acevedo's writing tends to be. It's very distinctive. You know how things, like, it paints a picture without ever over painting the picture, if that makes sense. You get to see a lot of how the Dominican Republic looks, how Yahaira's life looks, how Camino's life looks, and they're very different from each other. It's set in dual point of view, which I should have mentioned earlier, but you get to see a lot of how their lives are actually really different, very, very different. I always forget I have a mirror here and I see like an arm moving and I'm like, ghost! Their lives are very different, and that's very like obvious in not only how they talk, but how they hold themselves and how they view the world. And like, Elizabeth Acevedo wrote it where it was very distinctive and you could tell the differences between each girl. Another thing that I loved was seeing how different their lives were exactly. Like, I feel like it's really easy to be like, oh yeah, a girl from New York and a girl from the Dominican Republic are going to have very different lives. It's very easy to say that because it was very obvious, but I feel like to show it is a completely other thing, and Elizabeth Acevedo did a really good job of showing us how their lives are so different from one another without just saying, oh yeah, they're different, and then continuing on making it seem like their lives are similar but also different, or like similar with the implication of it being different. You got to see exactly like the things Camino has to worry about, which are vastly different from the things Yahaira has to worry about. And then you got to also see how different the girls' relationship with their father was, and it's just, she did a really good job doing it. The last point really is that I also love this weird diasporic feel we got from Yahaira's perspective. She has a quote for this, I think on page, this isn't a spoiler, so. I was raised so damn Dominican. Spanish is my first language. Bachata, a reminder of the power of my body. Plantano and salami for years before I ever tasted peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. If you asked me what I was, and you meant in terms of culture, I'd say Dominican. No hesitation, no question about it. Can you be from a place you have never been? You can find the island stamped all over me, but what would the island find if I was there? Can you claim a home that does not know you, much less claim you as its own? And like, that hit me. I remember hearing that line in one of like Elizabeth's promo videos for I think Epic Reads, and I remember just going, oh, this line makes me feel things because I relate to it so much. And I just love that feeling we got from Yahaira's perspective, where she's very much like, in my blood, in my bones, I am Dominican, but people outside of that probably don't see it. And like, chances are when I go there, like, I don't know how people of the Dominican Republic will view me because I have never been. I have never actually been raised there, but it is embedded in my bones, and I feel that on like a deep level. And I really loved having something to like kind of confirm those feelings for me and validate in my existence. But yeah, basically I really love this book. Overall, I give this a 5 out of 5 stars. There's just something about Elizabeth Acevedo's writing that like makes me warm inside, and something that like somehow I can relate to despite me not being that ethnicity. I love her writing. It's so lyrical, and I will continue to pick up whatever else she wants to publish. Like, I'll love it. She's an auto-buy author for me, and I highly recommend this book if you have not read The Poet X or With Fire and High yet. Definitely recommend it. But that is it for my video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Again, thank you guys so much for being patient with me while I was kind of gone. I really appreciate it. But if you guys have any comments, if you guys have read this book and feel similarly, or don't feel the same way, please leave them down below and we'll have a nice discussion about it. But until next time, I hope you guys are having a wonderful week, and hit like, subscribe, and comment for more content. I have another journaling video planned for Sunday. Also, all my socials are linked down below. So, yeah. But until next time, I'll see you guys everywhere else. Bye!